PharmaPhobic is powered by Achieve the Lifestyle, a company dedicated to helping you empower your health, redefine your lifestyle, and all for the health of it. You're listening to PharmaPhobic, where we challenge the state of health in America. I'm Janie, a physician assistant, and I've seen how healthcare keeps people dependent instead of truly healthy.
And I'm Dan, a veteran turned fitness pro here to uncover the truth and explore simple and sustainable health solutions. From big pharma to big food, we're exposing the conflicts of interest keeping us sick and finding better ways to take back our health.
No fluff, no gimmicks, just real talk, real solutions, and a little bit of fun along the way.
Hello there. Welcome to another episode of the PharmaPhobic podcast, brought to you by Achieve the Lifestyle, where we help you achieve the strongest, healthiest, and most capable version of yourself. As always, I am here with my lovely special guest, co-host of the show, inventor of the term PharmaPhobic.
Ooh, thank you.
Mm-hmm. The lovely Jane Brown. How are you?
Thank you. I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's been a couple of weeks since we recorded a podcast, because we keep
a week and a half.
Yeah. So I feel like my entry was rusty there.
And also, we were supposed to record at 9 a.m., but we're recording in the afternoon because our dryer pooped the bed. So we had to get a new dryer. And they were going to deliver it Thursday, and I requested for after 5. They said, sweet, we'll be there between 11 and 3. I'm like, okay.
When people are at work.
Yeah, so I'll reschedule to Saturday, please, after 12. And they said, all right, we'll be there between 8 and 12. I said, okay.
Yeah. Little tag game with Best Buy there.
Yeah.
It's funny,
but we got our dryer, and everything's good, and our podcast producer is very flexible, which is amazing. So it's all getting done, and everything will be dry.
It's funny because running out of the house, usually when we record on Saturdays, we're all hopped up on Mountain Dew, baby. We are caffeined up. Big breakfast, caffeined up. I can tell the difference between when we record on Saturday mornings and when we record Tuesday afternoons, because Tuesdays are a heavy day for me, and we end up recording at 2:30, and I'm running on like straight cortisol at that point.
Yep.
So I'm like, and I feel like my brain isn't firing as quickly as I would like it to when we record Tuesday afternoons. But Saturday morning, I feel like I could kick the doors off some stuff. Mm-hmm. Big old breakfast, lots of coffee had in peace and quiet, nice and slow, no rushing. And then I pop one of those Lairds right after, which today I left my Lairds sitting on the kitchen counter. Uh-huh. So I get no nootropic boost.
And we drove separately because what we have to do after. And Dan calls me as we're driving here. And he's like, I forgot my Lairds. And I was like, okay. He's like, I guess it is what it is. I was like, what do you want me to do about it?
I almost turned around and got it. First of all, Lairds, if you guys don't know, very good product. Mm-hmm. They make coffee creamer. They make protein
lattes,
bars.
Instant lattes.
And then they make these instant lattes.
They also have coffee.
Yep.
They also have electrolytes, hot chocolate. They have a ton of stuff. Greens, reds.
Yeah, and they got a nighttime blend.
Yeah.
It's Laird's, as in Laird Hamilton, the big wave surfer, and Gabby Reese's husband.
Yeah.
If you grew up in the 90s, you know who Gabby Reese is as the Olympic volleyball player. Phenomenal athlete back then. And Laird Hamilton, who's 60 years old, big wave surfer. I mean, he looks like he's 30. Dude's ripped, so they have this product called Laird's. Their thing is they combine nootropic, like functional mushrooms, like, lion's mane and cordyceps and that sort of thing with coffee, and they put it in their food.
Yeah.
So that instant latte, I usually have 2 cups of coffee, and then we pop that instant latte, and your brain is going at 200 miles an hour at that point. You can't quite hear colors.
Oh. No, it's not that bad. But I knew since our day was shifted a little bit later, I was like, let me have my Laird's first so I don't forget it, and then I'll have my coffee. But
yeah, so mine's just sitting in the kitchen counter, just there, sad that it didn't get drank. So anyway, what are we talking about today? We're going to talk, oh man, I think we really, this is supposed to be a positive show. It really is. But we're going to approach dark topics or unfortunate set of circumstances with humor, with optimism, because we feel that there's a workaround, right? We have options when we talk about these situations. And what situations are things that are out there advocating, lobbying, and working really, really, really hard against people's health, right?
Yep.
There is a clear-cut agenda. There's constructs. We've heard us say it before, there's all these things that are really working really hard with billions of dollars behind it to work against people's health. Okay? That's a reality. I think at this point it is completely undeniable unless you choose to live under a rock. And it's a tough situation because it's a big construct, right? And it seems like everywhere you go, everywhere you turn, this thing is right there staring you in the face and trying to, screw you out of your health. But we are here to create some options for you.
Yeah.
And to laugh a little bit about it,
And just to help you be aware, right?
Yep.
Because you have to know to grow.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. You dropping bars today. Somebody had their
my
Lairds.
Lairds,
Yeah. Somebody had their Lairds. Okay. So first topic we're going to talk about the obesity gene that Oprah just made up. No, she didn't just make it up. Somebody from Harvard did. Then she's got this Yale doctor hanging out with her now. And they're really pushing hard this thing about obesity being genetic. So first time this part of the conversation of obesity is genetic, obesity is a disease, all this sort of thing, which we can talk about obesity being a disease, but the genetic part, you're making it up, period.
So there are some genes associated with obesity, okay? Because there can be a genetic predisposition to becoming obese, but there can also be things that you can do to mitigate it, okay? But what we're getting at is right now is what's being given to us in the media is obesity is a gene, that's it, it's not your fault, you can do nothing about it, right? And so that's what's wrong. Now, is there, to my knowledge, there's not a gene that you have that then you have obesity, right?
That expresses itself 100% of the time as you are obese, even if you eat bananas and vegetables and lean meats.
But there are genes that can, maybe you store fat easier.
So, yeah. And
maybe genetically you have a slower metabolism, so there's things like that can say, so when you say absolutely not 100% false, there's no 100 absolutes either way.
Can we point, when you look at the strand of DNA, the little helix, whatever, is there something in there that you can isolate? They say if you have this gene right here, gene D blah, 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 in this little strand of your helix, you're going to be obese no matter what.
Yeah. Like you have this gene, therefore you have blue eyes. You have this gene, therefore you will be obese. Not that I'm aware of, right?
Exactly.
But there are some genetic, it's the nature versus nurture thing, right? Like when you see families where the parents are obese and the kids are obese and it looks like that, is it genetic or is it just because lifestyle habits, eating habits, exercise habits, stress habits, sleep habits are being taught, right? So there's that, okay? But you can see some families, even before obesity was a thing, that they weren't obese, but they were bigger. Right?
If you're of Viking blood, you're going to be bigger human. If you're like Samoan, even the New Zealanders, they're like the native New Zealanders, the Maoris, they're bigger people. Tongans, who else? Freaking Germans of certain areas are going to be bigger, right?
Right. And so what I'm saying is that it's not 100% genetic. There are things, and even if you do have genes that predispose you to maybe carrying more weight, storing more weight, whatever, there are still things that you can do that aren't just a medication, which we'll get into.
My statement is take the DNA, the helix, pull out the gene that makes you obese no matter what. Please do it right now. Like the gene that gives you blue eyes, like the gene that gives me melanin and makes my skin darker complected. Go ahead. I'm waiting. And name the gene, please, that makes you obese,
Yeah.
right? So I'm gonna play a little clip of Oprah. This was on The View, right? The View is apparently a great show. It's been around for forever. And it's great for spewing
Who used to be the original host?
nonsense.
Wasn't Rosie O'Donnell one?
Yeah, Rosie O'Donnell was one of them.
I think Joy's always been on
Joy
there.
Behar's always been on there.
I don't remember who else.
Whoopi Goldberg's always been on there.
Yes.
And then what the other ladies have changed. I believe the original show was Joy, Whoopi, and Rosie. And then they started. Sharon Osbourne's been on there.
Right.
But anyway, I'll play the soundbite here.
All these years, I thought I was overeating. I was standing there with all the food noise, what I ate, what I should eat, how many calories was that, how long was it going to take. I thought that was because of me and my fault. Yeah. Now I understand that if you carry the obesity gene, if that is what you have, that is what makes you overeat. Liberal women are allergic to eat.
Okay. So best soundbite. That's a soundbite because she keeps going on. Best video I could find. I've been looking for a video where I could just get the whole thing. But she has this Yale researcher, Dr. Anya, next to her, and old girl is co-signing. So let's backtrack a little bit before we get it. Oprah is obviously the biggest mouthpiece with this obesity gene thing coming out of it. There was that doctor from the Harvard Dietetics Guidelines Association about 2 years ago who went on 60 Minutes in an interview. Fatima something is her name. And she said that obesity is genetic and there's nothing you could do about it if you have the gene, right? First one to spew that on 60 Minutes, pretty big platform. That got out. Now you have Oprah. This is going super viral. Her saying, oh, this obesity gene, and I have this Yale researcher with me saying, yes, obesity is genetic and there's nothing you could do about it. Oh. So hearing Oprah talk about health. Now, I've been around a long time. Oprah's been around a long time. She's been a celebrity a long time. She's a billionaire. Ever since I could remember, Oprah's been a celebrity. She had a talk show in the 80s. And she's been a giant celebrity. So let's talk about her struggle with weight loss and maintaining her health, right? She did this thing back in the 80s. I believe it was, I put it on here, 1988. She lost 67 pounds. So she was very heavy back then. She lost 67 pounds in 4 months back then. And this was all over her talk show. They were celebrating this. Now, granted, this is the 80s, so diet advice and all this stuff and exercise advice was pretty rudimentary. But she went on a 4-month liquid diet. So yeah, exactly. For 4 months, all she did was drink these little meal replacement shakes.
I wonder why I have food noise.
Exactly. 4 months. Lost 67 pounds. If you lose 67 pounds in 4 months, unless you're 500 pounds, it's gonna get iffy, right? That's usually
like
when
15 pounds a month, that's like 4 pounds a week.
Exactly. Where the average for a sustainable weight loss and actual healthy weight loss, where you're not messing up your gallbladder and messing up your stuff, is about 1 pound a week, right?
Half a pound, yeah.
So at most. So she dropped 67 in 4 months. Now, you heard what I said. 4 months of liquid diet. And she was showcasing herself, how skinny she was. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody was so happy for her. And then she regained the weight after 2 weeks of eating regular food. 2 weeks. 4 months, dropped 67, got it back in 2 weeks. What does that tell you? I mean, she went on a crash diet. It's terrible, right? So here in 2026, this is the 80s. They didn't know any better. Maybe they did, but they didn't really. Whatever. Here in 2026, fam, please, for the love of everything that's holy, do not do a crash diet. Don't do it. We know better now, right? Like, don't do it. No. Okay. So it took her 2 weeks.
Yeah.
After 4 months of misery of just drinking her food to regain that weight back.
Yep.
So she later on expressed regret because she said she was promoting extreme diets. Okay, good on you. Oprah has a little bit of a conscience. Okay. 2015. Keep in mind that all these years, as I've grown up, there's been skinny Oprah, fat Oprah, skinny Oprah, fat Oprah, skinny Oprah. She's been yo-yoing back and forth. Her metabolism has to be wrecked from all that yo-yoing. 2015, she buys a 10% stake in Weight Watchers. Okay? Which put the brand in the high heavens. Again, Oprah is a very powerful woman, very powerful brand. There's a lot of money behind her. So she bought that 10% stake. That put Weight Watchers stock, raised it, boom, and moved the needle for him. Now, in 2024, she resigns from the board, because she was on the board, obviously, with the 10% ownership, and donated, supposedly, her stake in the company to avoid conflicts of interest, because she came out and admitted that, or said that she was on the GLPs, right? Why does that matter? Because Weight Watchers started slanging them GLPs in 2023. So they basically did a whole rebrand, Weight Watchers, you know, before they were counting these points and you do the meals and the blah, blah, blah. And they did a whole rebrand to be like, don't worry about the points and the stuff that we've been doing for 30 years. It's all about them GLPs now, fam.
Yeah.
And we gonna slang GLPs, bruh. You're gonna come to Weight Watchers, we're gonna put you on the points, and we're gonna give you a GLP. So now you see her involvement. If you start pulling pictures of Oprah over the years, you can see that she's been yo-yoing and up and down, and she's promoted different things. It was Weight Watchers. It was this slim fast type diet that she did in the 80s. And she did that again, right? She's never been an advocate for, hey, let's strength train. Let's see what our body can do. Let's live this, you know, let's get this lifestyle going, which is sad because she's a billionaire. She could have any trainer she wants. She could have, she has, no doubt, a living cook. Oprah ain't cooking her own food, people. I'm sure she's not buying her own groceries either, right? So she could have access to whoever she wants to get her health in order, but yet she's always struggled with it. I wonder why. Now, I personally, when I heard her saying, and I hear her voice, it's very recognizable. I'm like, I'm not interested in anything this woman has to say. I'm sure many people are. Why? I don't know. I'm not interested in anything this woman wants to say. The only thing that I would be interested, the only questions that I want to hear Oprah answer, that I would pay attention to, is, Oprah, can you please tell us about the extent of your involvement with Jeffrey Epstein and John of God and missing children from orphanages in Africa? You know, like, Dad, tinfoil hat. No, this is real, people. Oprah's healer, this guy named John of God, he's in prison for 99 years for human trafficking, right? And then she's also has close ties, you know, and I got to put here, supposedly, allegedly, with Jeffrey Epstein. She's mentioned a lot around that whole thing, right? And then she has orphanages, girls' orphanages in Africa that have also been supposedly, allegedly, mentioned in things of children going missing and that sort of thing. I would love to hear her answer those questions more so than I would love to hear her talk about health. And so adamantly and emphatically. Now going on YouTube to find the clip of her talking on The View, she's got a whole series of videos talking about obesity is genetic. I was like, oh my God, she's going hard on this. I don't know. It's a complicated situation, and people like her are injecting unfortunate levels of complexity into something that's already complicated, right? Like, she's using her celebrity to muddy the waters even more.
Yeah. Do we know, is she tied to the GLPs at all financially?
Oh, no doubt she is.
No, but do we know?
She's pushing them now. There's no way. There's no way that somebody like her opens her mouth about something without getting paid.
Okay.
You can, like, that's how powerful this woman is.
Yeah.
So if she is promoting something and she's going hard as she is, like I said, there's a series of videos of her talking about this obesity is genetic and GLP saved me and all this other stuff. she won't move a finger unless she's getting paid.
Yeah.
And in the form of, she probably has stakes in the company. She's big enough to be like, hey, I'm going to buy 2% of Pfizer type thing.
Okay.
You know, we're probably one of the richest women in the world, right? At this point.
So you kind of touched on a little bit, what really is disheartening that she doesn't speak on is sustainable things that everyone can do for free 99 as opposed to taking GLPs, which cost money, going on to Weight Watchers, which cost money. Getting adequate nutrition with an all liquid diet takes a lot of thought and money, right? Because it's not like, hey, I just drink water. You know, that's not what that is. You'll die. But she doesn't talk about, hey, walking after meals or getting so many steps a day, trying not to stay really sedentary, using her power to help women who are stuck in a 9 to 5, who then have to take care of their kids and do all that. How do you get like, hey, let's advocate for women to have better work environments to promote activity or like more, like, why can't she start a chain of gyms that has childcare with it so moms can, so I mean, just all these things that she could do. Yeah. The biggest thing is the relationship between trauma, specifically sexual trauma, and being overweight or obese. I know she's talked about her personal trauma that she had growing up. I believe she was sexually assaulted as a kid, if I remember correctly. And she's been open about that. But that's how the whole adverse childhood events ACE score came about. This guy was interviewing overweight and obese women, and he just started finding out more often than not, they were sexually abused. And then it's like, okay, well, why is this common among people then who have struggles with weight? Obvious things. The body feels in danger and it tries to protect itself. What does the body do when it needs to protect itself? Store energy. Well, how do you store energy? Store fat. Okay. The other thing
There's
is
also, like, you're probably developing weird habits around food as a coping mechanism as well.
Seeking comfort in food, being the thing that you can control, the thing that you can do to make feel good. And I've heard this a lot with people who've been sexually abused. If I'm fat, people won't try to pursue me sexually. That's the thing. It's almost like physical armor.
So that almost feels like a better conversation for her to have surrounding trauma and obesity and that and that would actually be a helpful conversation.
Yeah.
Right? Because she can bring light to, hey,
now, as far as I know,
there.
Weight Watchers and GLPs don't solve trauma. Okay? Weight Watchers has the potential to be good because I've had a lot of patients who are on Weight Watchers and it's the point system. You know what things are 0 points?
What?
Whole natural foods. Like a chicken breast, a steak, 0. Mm-hmm. So essentially, if you ate a whole foods diet, or I'm not advocating for a carnivore diet, but if you ate a carnivore diet on Weight Watchers, you'd get like 0 points. But I'm sure you get some points for more fatty things. But it has the potential to be good, but it's not because a lot of people are undernourished on Weight Watchers. And
they're eating these very, very low calorie diets.
And then Weight Watchers has their own brand of protein bars, drinks, meal replacements. We're not educating people on what nutrients, specifically micronutrients, they use. And I think that's the missing piece. I've seen a lot of people who slang GLPs. There's this one doctor who's married to the guy who is the RP guy. Mm-hmm. I can't remember her name. She slangs GLPs or promotes them. And she talks about when she was younger, she was on a cabbage soup diet. And
excuse me?
Yeah.
That sounds atrocious.
And so same thing with Oprah. I can't confirm that they've had their micronutrient panel evaluated or tried to replenish that. I pray to God that Oprah has, because she has the resources to do that. She can probably do all the testing.
She could go get genetic testing, like the longevity test.
But there's no talk about that. It's like if you eat, even if you just ate white rice, chicken breast, and broccoli, you're deficient in a lot of things, even though that's technically healthy, right? Mm-hmm. And so there's just so much missing. It's they just want to promote things that get people results, because what they want is for people to come to them and be happy and get results, which is why I think a lot of doctors are just more lenient to give out GLPs, because patients are happier, they get results, but at what cost? And like these doctors who are saying, yeah, obesity is 100% genetic, whose offices are going to be flooded with patients? Because guess what? If I'm obese, it's not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong.
And that's
I
where
want to
wanted
go there. I want to seek the solution. I don't want to be accountable for myself.
That's where I wanted to go. So it's disempowering, right?
Yeah.
You're shifting blame. You're not taking responsibility, and it's disempowering because now the courses of action that you're going to default to surround things that won't make you take charge of the situation, because it's not your fault.
Yeah.
And she'll say it like she goes, if you listen to the expanded conversation, she's like, it's not my fault. She's basically saying obesity is what cost me to overeat. But how did we get obese? Because I don't doubt it that if once you're obese, you're going to be more likely to overeat. I don't doubt it one bit.
But now it's going to get trickier and trickier, because if a mother is obese and eats a poor diet while the child is in the womb and then breastfeeds that child, they are more likely to be obese from the get-go.
Yeah.
So now it's
we're getting to a point where it's going to be closer to an actual genetic
Yes.
situation. Yes, we're getting that research came also from the breastfeeding study. So we're getting to a point where obese mother, poor diet with child during pregnancy, breastfeeds child has pure prefrontal cortex development, more likely to be obese. So now, and it raises the odds of obesity in the child exponentially. It's not like, oh, it's a 5%. No, exponentially.
Yeah.
So now it's getting to the point where, yes, we're kind of making the environment more favorable for people to be obese. And it's sad. That's sad.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. But what I want to get at here is that it's like, man, shifting blame and lack of accountability will do more to hold you down than a lot of things, than most things. So things get really good when you get to a place where you can ask yourself, okay, what part did I have in my current circumstance?
That's great you say that, because that's even with trauma. Okay.
All of it.
Because I'm not saying that what happened to somebody as a child is their fault.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll use myself, for example. It's not my fault what happened to me as a child. But when I got older and I started making choices on my own and I lived in that perpetual cycle and I didn't do anything to change it, that's now my fault. I made those choices as a young adult before I sought therapy and got help. And so, but some people go through life, they're like, well, I did that because this happened. I did that because this happened. And I'm obese because I have this gene. But are you taking, okay, I have this obesity gene, so I'm going to make sure I do strength training 2 to 3 times a week. I get 10K steps a day. I'm prioritizing my sleep. I'm going to therapy. I'm eating a whole food diet. I'm working with nutritionists, a dietitian to unravel my relationship with food so I focus more on nourishing. And I also am working with a therapist to combat, because this is a big thing, the societal demand to look a certain way. Mm-hmm. Because Oprah, maybe she's never going to be what society says she should be, like, I don't know, 125 pounds. But she looks awesome at 185, but she's trying to get down to 140 constantly. So it's like the pressures from society, your personal goals, your trauma attached to these goals, it's very, very confusing. And here comes Big Pharma with, we'll take it all away.
Yeah, you can release your burdens on us.
What is it?
We got you.
What does somebody say? It's like lighter with Wegovy.
It's bad. I wish if she would promote a whole food based thing, if she would like work out and just talk about that, she could start a revolution. Like, I'm sure some gym brand would want, like a big gym would want to partner with her and have like a Oprah strength training, whatever. I mean, it could be a freaking fitness revolution. That's how much power this woman holds, right? And here we are, she's muddying the waters with this obesity genetic. Now, here's the thing. Her Pizzo, her partner in crime, the doctor that she's towing around, this researcher from Yale University, Dr. Anya, I think is her name. Whatever, irrelevant. That's co-signing this stance, and she's towing, tons of videos with her. It's funny because the last lady that said obesity is genetic and there's nothing you can do about it was from Harvard, and then this lady is from Yale. Like, yo, what's going on at the Ivy League, son? What's going on over there? Y'all okay? It seems like all the nonsensical stuff as of late is coming out of the Ivy League schools. I mean, we're talking about men can get pregnant stuff is coming out of Ivy League schools. Now we got obesity's genetic coming out of Ivy League schools. What are y'all? Boo-boo, are y'all okay over there in the Northeast, man? What's going on? All this money spent on Ivy League education, and 40 years ago, you say you went to Harvard, people are like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. Now we got all these people with these titles behind their name and, Harvard this and Yale that, talking some stuff that just leaves you scratching your head. Man, you paid a lot of money to learn some stuff that just quite doesn't pass the common sense test.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on over there, but in my mind, me personally, when I heard, I'm so bad. It's like Yale research. I'm like, oh, here we go. Give me some nonsense. Give me some nonsense, girl. And she did. She did not disappoint. So something to...
So one thing to kind of bridge over.
Oh, vegan stuff is also all these, like the dietetic guidelines, the plant-based agenda, heavy from the Ivy League schools.
Oh, veganism?
Cool.
Yeah. To bridge this over to the next thing I know that we want to talk about is that with the whole obesity being genetic, and then you can say, well, it does. Like you can see overweight parents have overweight kids, but if you really look at it, even if the grandparents are overweight and the parents are overweight, the kids, but they're getting exponentially bigger, right?
Yeah.
And so why? Is it just the genes getting more robust and stronger? No. If and this can go either way. If whatever belief set you come from, you believe that God created us, created the earth for us, or if you believe that we evolved, we got to look at the quality of the food. Because more than ever, our food is synthetic. It's made in a lab.
Oh, we're going to talk about that. Yeah.
We as humans, whether we evolved in this earth or this earth was created for us, we were not made to eat lab-grown, modified things. And so what is that doing to our body? Are we surprised that obesity is becoming more common and more severe? Are we surprised disease rates are heightening? Because we're trying to man-made things to be better when we either evolved in this earth and if it got us from a fish to a human, I would say what is on the earth is pretty dang good. Or if we were created for this earth and this earth was created for us, we have everything we need. So why are we trying to make new things?
Yeah, we're stepping away from the model and it's showing, right?
Yeah.
Like the way things were ordained, the way things were created, the way things worked. Because if we were meant to be eating synthetic, man-made, made up stuff from a lab, how the hell have we been on Earth for freaking millennia then? We wouldn't have survived because we didn't have that lab-grown stuff back then, bruh.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about?
And everything is like fortified.
Don't go there yet because I got that for later. Yeah, But you see how everything connects. Yeah.
So anyway, all I'm saying is that we need to stop just saying like obesity is genetic, nothing you can do about it. We need these medications to help us. And we need to start looking at what are we eating? What are we doing to ourselves? What are we doing to everything we come in, things we put on our skin, things we breathe, things we drink, things we eat, the way we sleep, all this stuff. And how is that impacting our health? Because the body, I always say, is amazing. If it's holding on to weight and putting on a lot of weight rapidly, why? What is it trying to protect? Or a lot of times fat, like toxins will be stored in fat and put away. So what is our body trying to tell us? Instead of, oh, body, you're wrong for being this way. Let me inject you with something to make you smaller.
Yep. Noted, and also I have to point out how the body positivity, healthy at any size stuff has died with these GLP aggressive marketing. It's done. It's over with.
One last thing, food noise. Food noise is a micronutrient or some sort of nutrient deficiency until proven otherwise, even total calorie deficiency. And if it's not, and you truly have food noise, the patterns I've seen, people who have food noise have comorbid mental disorders. Okay. So looking at that, and people with food noise, like I've had a patient who had a binge eating disorder. True food noise was she had to eat something, got into her pantry, opened up cake mix, ate the dry part of the cake mix. That's food noise. That's a binge eating disorder. If you just, I had coffee with protein in it for breakfast and then a salad with grilled chicken for lunch, and now I can't get out of my pantry when I go home after work, I have food noise. No, get more food in your body throughout the day and then see how you feel. And now let's take a quick break. Have you heard about collagen and how amazing it is for your skin, hair, nails, digestion, and joints, but have no clue which one to choose? I've been there. A few years ago, I stumbled upon Bubs Naturals, and let me tell you, I've been hooked ever since. Here's why I swear by them. Bubs Naturals keeps their quality standards sky high from the start to finish. Their collagen blends perfectly in coffee, or really any other beverage you love. Plus, they've got convenient to-go packs so you can stay on track wherever life takes you. And it doesn't stop there. They'll donate 10% of all of their proceeds to charities that support veterans. How awesome is that? Oh, and they've leveled up their electrolytes too. The mixed berry, that's my absolute favorite. It's light, refreshing, and not overly sweet. What sealed the deal for me? Their electrolytes are NSF certified, made right here in the USA, and just like their collagen, every purchase helps give back. So do your body a favor, head to bubnaturals.com and use my code JANE20 at checkout for 20% off every time you order. Tired of looking like you lost a fight with a powdered donut every time you work out? Yeah, I was too. That's why I ditched the messy chalk and switched to Chalkless. Chalkless is a new, clean, residue-free grip enhancer that goes on in seconds and lasts for hours. No clouds, no cleanup, just a rock-solid grip. Whether you're crushing it in the gym, dominating on the pickleball court, or hanging on a rock face like Spider-Man, Chalkless has your back. I even hit my 350-pound deadlift PR at Summer Strong using Chalkless. Locked in, zero slip, total confidence. Ready to level up your grip game? Head over to chalkless.com and use code JANEBROWN to snag 10% off your order.
Yeah, so I think to close this one out, there's two things that I want to point out. First of all, the victim mindset, man, we got to get rid of that stuff. That it's killing us. It's killing us in more ways than none in our country right now. You know, in a lot of societal ills, including health, people are shifting blame. They don't want to take responsibility for things. They don't want to ask themselves how they're playing a part in their suffering. And it's not solving anything. It really doesn't. If you take a minute and take a beat and see, hey, how did I contribute to my current situation? It helps when you take responsibility. Just take an assessment of the situation. Give yourself and get uncomfortable within yourself and be like, okay, what could I have done wrong that put me in this predicament? Because that you're empowering yourself. You might think you're kicking yourself down, but you're empowering yourself because you now are putting yourself in a position where like, okay, I actually have access to something that can make this situation better, right? I can actually do something to make my circumstances better. You might not have 100% solution, but you might have 30, 40, 50% solution, which will put you in a better spot than where you currently are, right? With obesity, guys, you have to put the food in your mouth. You're not going to sit at home and not eat and become obese. It's just not going to happen. This is an active thing. So we have to be active to combat it. We're not going to sit there and hope they put a shot in us that is going to make it all go away. We're not going to sit there and hope that somebody's going to bust into your house and make you do exercises for you and make the obesity go away, right? You have to be an active participant in the solution as well. And that's a better position to be in mentally and emotionally when you come at your problem that way, right? The other one is celebrity endorsements, bro. I have an extreme stance on celebrities. I've never liked them. There could be people that I'm like, oh yeah, this dude does cool movies and I'll watch his movie, but I'm not a person who cares what celebrities are doing. I don't follow celebrities. I don't look at their stuff in magazines. Us Weekly magazine makes me want to throw up every time I see it, because who cares that much about celebrity lives? Really?
Yeah.
And
they're people.
they're just people that put on their pants one leg at a time, like you and I. They just have a different set of circumstances, and they live away from reality. Hollywood, California living, Malibu living, Beverly Hills are places that are away from reality, right? So these people hold these opinions and views, and a lot of them have been, we look at somebody like Whoopi Goldberg, who wants to decry the struggles of being a certain ethnicity, but she's been filthy rich longer than she wasn't. So it blows my mind about the things that she wants to complain about. She's been living in Hollywood since the 80s, y'all. Like, that's a bubble. You're living in La La Land. That's literally what they call it. Anyway, celebrity endorsements. Remember that these people get paid to endorse this stuff. Oh, now you got Tom Brady jumping on the GOP bandwagon. That is whatever. But
An athlete?
in my mind, remember that these people they're getting paid a lot of money to endorse this stuff. In my mind, anything that comes out of that stratosphere, that little bubble of Hollywood and celebrities, I don't know, people that live worshiping celebrities, you follow them, you care about what they do, so-and-so's dating, I feel sorry for you, because that's a weird existence. In my mind, I'm extreme. They're all Epstein Island pedos until proven otherwise. So I'm not going to trust what you say, bro. That's just, you live a different life. You live a weird life. You're going to these weird parties in islands and stuff. I don't care what you have to say about things like health. Like, if you see celebrity endorsement, it's going to be weird. Okay? It's going to be weird.
Yeah.
So
I just think it's fast. It's just, to me, it's always, granted, I used to celebrities, right? Especially when Instagram first started, you could follow them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, I've really taken a step back from that, because if you really look at it, it's like, why do we idolize these people who are in movies?
Mm-hmm.
They're there for our entertainment.
Exactly.
If you go back in time, who the Jester, he was there for entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't anything special. They were of service to others. So if you really look at celebrities, they're at service to us. They are here to entertain. Why are you not entertained, right? But we level them up. Now they make buku money. And it just, to me, it's just weird.
Well, and remember, when we're talking about Hollywood specifically, remember why we think a certain actor or actress is great. They win awards for this. They literally trick you into believing that there's somebody they're not. And they do it so well that you're like, Oscar.
Yeah.
So why am I going to sit here and put weight and value into something that somebody who makes a lot of money, and the better they do at lying to you about something, the better we think they are as an actor.
Yeah.
Why would I sit there and take, so-and-so, and don't even get me started on their social political advice, whatever. But when it comes to health, listen, celebrity endorsements, unless they're endorsing barbells and dumbbells, you can, and steak and, Whole Foods, you can shut your dirty mouth up, okay? And just play the guy in the movie. Be the guy who plays the guy who plays the guy.
Yeah.
Tropic Thunder, if you didn't know. Okay? Anyway. Oh, moving on.
So many good quotes from that movie that aren't PC.
Tropic Thunder is a phenomenal movie. That's one of the top movies that I laughed extremely hard at, that I couldn't believe that I missed it. I was like, why haven't I seen this before?
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Anyway.
So, moving on. We're going to talk, you were talking about enriched foods and stuff, so we're going to talk a little bit about fake food here. We're going to talk, Florida's been testing food.
You know how you go, fake news, we can talk about fake food.
Fake food. It's completely fake. Florida's been testing stuff. They started with baby formula, which I'm going to talk about here in a second, and did candy, but we're going to talk about it in reverse. They tested candy, right? So let me put on my old man filters back on because we want to go into this. 46 types of popular candy. And what they found was elevated levels of arsenic in 60% of those candies. Fun, because arsenic in elevated levels is great for you. Now, we have to say arsenic is present in natural food. So there's a natural form of arsenic. Apples come to mind. Rice. Brown rice specifically is super high in arsenic, but rice in general tends to have some arsenic in it.
Well water can have it.
Yep. So there is a natural form of arsenic. Now, what they say, there's an organic and an inorganic type of arsenic. So organic arsenic would be what you would find in an apple because it's paired with a carbon type of thing, right?
Is it mostly in the seeds? Why you don't eat the apple seeds?
Yes, I believe that is correct. And then there's inorganic, which is where it's paired with more synthetic type stuff, and it's a more synthetic form of arsenic, right? Arsenic can be poisonous in large amounts, really. We're talking about here skin disorders, bladder issues, lung cancer, cardiovascular issues, amongst other things that can cause if you have large amounts of arsenic in your system.
Bladder issues, notably bladder cancer. And because that is when you think about what urine is the body getting rid of things to then, excess fluid, but also waste, right? That your body's like, okay, this can't be in here, so get it out, pee it out. But it's not like we just walk around and just have this steady stream of urine coming out of us whenever our body's ready to release it. No, there's a reservoir, the bladder, where it sits. Well, depending on how much water you're drinking, how often you urinate, how much you're holding your pee, and the level of toxins in the urine and how long it sits in the bladder, well, then that can affect the bladder. Number one cause of bladder cancer, smoking. And, you're not drinking cigarettes. You're smoking them. You're inhaling that toxins get into your bloodstream. Your body's like, let me do my best to filter this out. And then it sits in your urine, and then it can cause bladder cancer. So that's why bladder issues are with arsenic.
Yep. We got a list of candies that popped hot for arsenic. So let's look at this.
Popped hot.
Gummy bears, Black Forest gummy bears, popped hot. Nerds.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah, so I'm a chocolate guy. If I'm gonna give in to sweets, I prefer chocolate. You are tart combination, or
I'm non-discriminatory with sweets, but I don't like nerds because they're too just like crunchy.
And it's a crazy flavor thing, like just this crazy flavor.
Yeah,
right?
And it's like, I don't know, I've just never little small no.
Yeah,
no.
Nerds, Jolly Ranchers, Hershey's Cookies and Cream. It's that white chocolate.
That. See, I don't like white chocolate. It's weird.
I know you don't like white chocolate.
It just don't taste right.
Oh, you like that real deal chocolate, bro. That's why I'm here, Anyway, yeah, Hershey's Cookies and Cream Bar, Twizzlers, Kit Kats.
Okay, Twizzlers and Kit Kats, I would destroy those growing up.
Kit Kat, give me a break.
Oh my gosh. Stop it.
Yeah, Kit Kat, Snickers. Snickers is funny.
It's that salty sweet combo.
Listen, Snickers, if you've been around, the hungry white weight commercial, and in Spanish, back in the day in Puerto Rico, you had people eating Snickers thinking that, oh, hungry, Snickers is going to be the best thing to hold you over. If you can't eat a real meal, just eat a Snickers. It's going to really kill your hunger, right?
Because it's healthy, because it has nuts.
Because it's healthy, because it has nuts, and it's a different candy bar that actually quells your hunger, guys. That's what the commercials had you believing back then. Three Musketeers, which I used to love.
Yeah, that nougat.
Nougat?
Nougat.
Nougat?
I don't know.
Nougat.
Say series again.
Skittles, y'all. Skittles has been in hot water. Like, Skittles needs to come.
Skittles used to be great.
Hey, we need to recall Skittles, y'all. Skittles just got in trouble 2 years ago for the titanium dioxide on the candy shell. Now they're in trouble for arsenic. Come on, bro. Just throw them away. Just get rid of them. Sour Patch Kids.
Sour Patch Kids and Swedish Fish.
And then a really famous one because it's used as an ice cream topper in certain cases. Dots. Which are kind of like Nerds, but I guess the Dots are kind of the chocolatey version of Nerds, I guess. So all of these popped hot for high levels of arsenic. Now, what they're saying is that the serving size that would put you over the safe doses of arsenic are minute in these candies.
Yeah, I saw the article thing. It said like 4 Twizzlers a year. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
If you ate 4 Twizzlers in a year, you would be over your arsenic safe level.
I don't know why that didn't trigger that the like Twizzlers wouldn't be good, because you really have to like peel them away from each other. I mean, it's not too dissimilar than like peeling open a package of like glue, right? So it's like, did we not think that? Did we not?
That it would be, because Twizzlers look exactly like strawberries and stuff, right? You know, they look exactly.
I didn't like the flavored one, the cherry, the original red Twizzlers. Those were my jam. With a Dr. Pepper? Stop it.
Damn, that's cancer right there.
Right?
Oh, dear God. I thank the Lord every day that I never liked soda. I just never liked it when I was a kid. Never the
Sometimes
carbonation.
I miss Fresca.
Fresca?
Yeah. The grapefruit soda.
I don't even do carbonated water. Like, that's how much I hate carbonation.
Yeah, he doesn't. Some of my friends, their kids call carbonated water, sparkling water, spicy water. This water's spicy.
I like that spicy water. That's what I'm gonna start. Done. That's what I'm gonna call water, the spicy water.
And I get excited because I like bubbles, and especially when we travel to Europe and they're like, because they always serve you water and they're, would you like sin or con gas? And I'm like, with, and Dan's like, and I'm like, oh, still boring.
Yeah, real water, grown up water. How you find it in nature. So, candies that did not pop. And yeah, keep in mind that what they're saying is like, hey, if you ate this dose of it, this amount of this candy, you would be over your yearly safe levels of arsenic.
So if you're like
4 Twizzlers in a year is nothing. People will eat 4 packs of Twizzlers in a week, you know? The nerds, I think it's 96 nerds is what they said.
You wanna count
Meaning literally, because you know nerds are like these little dots and you eat them in like handfuls. You know, you might eat 100 at a time, literally, but 96 dots of nerds put you over your yearly allotment of arsenic. Nobody eats 96 nerds.
So it also makes me think of like Pop Rocks. I know that's not on the list, but like who in a lab was like, oh, let's do a science experiment in people's mouths and it won't cause any harm. I'm sure Pop Rocks are totally toxic. And then the other thing I was thinking about, remember Fun Dip?
Oh my God.
It was just like kid-friendly cocaine.
Yeah, it was. Like, we used to fight for that. Oh, I want the Fun Dip, because you dip the stick and you lick the stick and that kind of, oh my God, terrible.
Tell me that didn't come, like whoever made Fun Dip didn't have like drugs on their mind or were actively doing them. They're like, this will be cool.
Oh,
like,
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. I really don't.
So what candies are
quote unquote safe that they didn't pop hot? You have M&Ms, which I was a huge M&M fan.
Peanut M&Ms.
Janie has peanut butter M&Ms too. Janie has seen me fiend.
Those caramel M&Ms?
I wasn't crazy about them. I would eat them. I would eat them. But you've seen me fiend over some M&Ms back in the day.
Now they're too sweet.
Man, I can't tell you how many M&Ms I ate. I would family size bag, no problem. Couple days gone.
I remember when we first got together and I saw he would buy the family size bag and that's what he would go to the movies with alone.
Yep.
Okay. And I remember I was like, I got us M&Ms to share, and I just come with a king size pack, and he's like, what is this?
Yep, that's not gonna get me through the previews. Like, I need the family size bag for the whole movie. I want to be crunching on M&Ms the entire time. Yep, I would do it. I would do it. That was my little system when we met. Go to Kroger, get me my big ass bag of M&Ms. Go to the movies, sneak it in my pockets. So M&Ms are safe. Not that I'm going to go back to eating M&Ms, but they're safe, quote unquote. Let's not talk about all the other nonsense in there, but Twix came out on the other side.
Salty sweet.
Reese's, I'm sure a lot of people are happy with that one. That came out on the other side.
I think there's way more natural forms of peanut butter cups. Like I know Justin's has one. Mm-hmm. They're easier to make at home.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Milky Way. And Whoppers came out.
I didn't like Whoppers.
I didn't like them either.
They made my teeth feel weird.
Yeah, I don't like the chocolate on Whoppers tastes really weird. But yeah, those came out. They didn't pop hot. Those were deemed safe. Another thing they tested, moving on here, baby formula.
Yeah, so they started testing things that babies and children are more likely to consume because children are the future, right? So they're
I
trying.
believe the children are our future.
So they wanted to target things that could be harming our kids, which makes sense, right? Because if poor quality of food leads to unhealthy children grow up to be unhealthy adults, consume a lot of health resources.
Yep.
So
They get
it makes
expensive.
sense. Yeah.
They get really expensive as they grow. And not only that, you're shortening lifespans. If you get sick or if you get type 2 diabetes earlier in life, we don't really have a lot of data on somebody becoming type 2 diabetic at 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. And then how long do they live?
Oh, no, don't
with
worry.
those
Pharma's
complications?
going to preserve you
Oh, I'm sure they're going to make
hopped up on all these meds for a long time.
plenty of money off you. Yeah, but your quality of life, that begins to go into question, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you live till 80, being diabetic from 15, but I don't think that's going to look too good when you look at your quality of life throughout those years. Anyway, they went into baby formula. Baby formula is a little touchy because then we get into the topic of moms that can't breastfeed.
Yeah.
Which in my mind, it's like what is happening in the environment, what environmental circumstances, or even, mom circumstances are happening that have hindered their ability to breastfeed. That's what I'm not saying they're consciously doing stuff that's going to keep them from breastfeeding. I'm not saying that. I'm saying my mind goes to what's at play.
Society pushing women out of the homes so that they have to go back to work sooner.
So where are women losing their ability to breastfeed? That's where my mind goes.
Here's your 12-week maternity leave.
Well, I'm talking about women that actually don't even produce breast milk.
Right.
So that's where there's something else at play here. We got to look at environmental factors. We got to look at nutritional factors. It's killing their ability to produce breast milk. But anyway, they took 24 samples of baby formula. They tested it for arsenic and heavy metals. Heavy metals are always cadmium, mercury, lead are usually the ones
Cobalt can be in there too.
Yep. But these are usually the ones that very common cadmium, mercury, and lead are usually the ones that they'll test heavy metals for. If they say something has heavy metals, it's usually these three are the culprits usually. So out of the 24 tested samples, 16, over half of them contained at least one of the heavy metals in excess of what is deemed safe by federal standards. At least one, not to say all three. Okay, and then they found that in popular brands like Similac and FML, which if you know
so that's
something.
2/3. There we go. Yep, I was doing math in my head that entire time.
66%, pretty much. 66% of baby formula out there, you can expect it to have high levels above standards that are deemed safe of heavy metals. Yeah. And baby formula
for mothers.
Yes, that is terrible for mothers. Let's not brands that they said were deemed safer options. Bobby, I've never seen that one, and Kendamil, never seen that one.
You know what neither of them are?
Oh, what?
Enfamil, Similac.
Similac and Enfamil popped hot.
No, I know the most common pushed ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Supposedly there's one line of Similac that didn't pop hot, but it's a specific line. So the state is rearranging because this is the thing with baby formula. It's a WIC thing, right? It's a very highly bought, paid for thing with food stamps. A lot of people on food stamps, they really rely on the formula. So they have they're maneuvering to let people include other options in food stamps programs so that they can not, get them off the stuff that came out as not good, right?
Yeah.
That's smart. That's a good move, solid move. Because you might as well give them a better option first, and then we figure out how to get people off of formula. Baby formula is really interesting because it has a very, I want to say nefarious is the word I want to use, history, right? How it was created, how it was marketed. It when you look at that, it just gives you the jeeves a little bit. It creeps you out a little bit. I don't think this stuff was created with the good intent that it's purported to have been created. You know what I mean? So, and how it was marketed and stuff, it doesn't doesn't smell good. And then when you look, if you pick up a thing of baby formula next time you're in the grocery store and look at the ingredients in baby formula and the average baby formula, it is crazy.
It's a lot of words.
A lot of words, a lot of words, and a lot of words that sound like, what is that? But usually amongst the first 3 ingredients in the average baby formula, what you'll find is soybean oil, canola oil. Amongst the first 3 ingredients, that's their fat source, right? Babies need fatty stuff. Their go-to fat source, more so than milk fat, is
seed oil.
A seed oil. So we're pumping that in the baby right off the rip because babies can't live without their seed oils, right? And this goes to what you were saying earlier. You mentioned, this stuff that's like fortified or enriched, it tends to be associated or to crappier ingredients.
Yeah. And so people are like, well, that's great because they are putting all these nutrients into the food. Okay, but why is it not in there? What did they do to that to strip it? All of that.
You have to add synthetic versions of the ingredients of the nutrients.
Yes, and then the synthetic versions of the nutrients aren't as bioavailable. And then, God forbid, you're one of the large percentage of people that have the MTHFR gene. And so things like folic acid you can't process. And so
next thing you know, you have a gut issue and skin issue and allergies and stuff, and you don't know why.
Yeah. And then you have to, I have this big thing of formula. Now, what if my kid's sensitive to dairy? Now I have to go to a dairy-free one. And then it's just, all these things. Whereas if, you're breastfeeding, and I'm not going to get into the fact, like if you can or cannot breastfeed, I'm just, saying in this example that you can. With breastfeeding, well, I think my kid might be sensitive to dairy. Let me take dairy out of my diet and see how it responds to my breast milk, right? And so I personally think that there's this big agenda, which we'll do a podcast on, about how getting women out of homes into the workforce, birth control, and everything has some good things, right? Has some good things, but also is designed to not have a nurturing mother at home who can optimally stay at home for an extended amount of time, nourish the child through breastfeeding and beyond, and is a huge disservice, I think. And so things like formula can really facilitate that. And hey, I was a formula-fed baby, okay? And so we on a previous episode, we talked about why women, because you posed the question, why can't some women, or why is it becoming a bigger issue? Well,
that they can't breastfeed. They can't produce the breast milk.
Well, some people choose not to because for whatever reason, and that's their choice. But that's a lot easier choice to then make if there are a ton of, if formula is an option. If formula wasn't an option,
you have no choice but to breastfeed.
Right. No. And in what societies, so say like the tribes in Africa that are still very like old school in the way they do things, like the Hadzas array, right? What if one of the females who has a baby can't breastfeed?
Another woman.
Right. And so I know in some other countries they have breast milk banks, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
funny. I was reading something.
I know that they do here, but I don't know if that's like government funded or if that's privately funded, or I don't know.
I was reading something about Swedish, Polish breast milk banks. They won't take breast milk from vegan moms.
Yes, that I was like, I know I saw something recently.
Yeah, they won't take this
because they're lacking nutrients.
Yep, the milk is not nutritious enough, so they won't. If you're a vegan and you try to donate breast milk, they won't take it. Yeah, lack of nutrients in the milk. That's crazy. Look at them looking out for people. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then just how, like, what did we used to do? I think breast milk is hugely, hugely nutritious. I know that some people find benefit of it. Like, there's always jokes going around online about, like, the husband realizes how nutrient dense breast milk is, and he's trying to get some gains, and he's like, hey,
So it's funny because there are studies on breastfed children versus formula-fed children, and that's something, you know, we probably should bring those up in later episodes. But I think, you know, we got to look at when the mom's nutritional status, like if mom's not eating enough, if she's not eating enough nutrient-dense foods, that sort of thing, could that have a play in their
because
ability
it's
to
a lot.
produce
It's a
breast milk?
huge energy demand to produce milk. That's why it's such a I have a friend who works with a lot of postpartum women, and it's a huge thing for them to really focus on nourishing themselves so they can appropriately nourish their child, because it's very demanding on the body to produce milk and to feed the baby, right? And so formula is great because what if you can breastfeed, but your supply is not adequate enough for whatever reason, right? You're doing everything you can, but it's just not. Well, you're not going to have the baby starve, so you're going to supplement it with formula. Wouldn't it be great if there was formula available that didn't have a bunch of BS in it when you're trying your best to do best for your child?
Yep. And you're going to supplement with formula, making sure that it doesn't have arsenic and cadmium and lead in it.
You get sick and you have to go on antibiotics and you don't want to expose your child to that. So you pump and dump, then they're going to get formula. So there's all these things where formula can be very useful. And, you know, if somebody is given up for adoption or, you know, mother dies during childbirth, then they have to be on, you know? Yeah. And so it's why isn't it more of a priority to make that one of the healthiest things instead of we're just putting quick, easy things? Because that's what seed oils are, quick, easy, cheap. But we're putting that in our baby's formula? Okay.
Yeah. And that association between enriched and fortified, when you see that on the label and the crappy ingredients, is crazy. We were recently Crystal River swimming with manatees. And so usually when we travel, we like to, you know, get the Airbnb and we at least buy food to make our own breakfast because we're not at home, but we're like, okay, let's make breakfast, control one meal. And then if we have to eat out for the other meals, that's fine. But we were looking for sourdough bread at Publix, which it's tough going to a place like Publix and finding real sourdough bread because their stuff is all going to be fortified and enriched. But the lady at the bakery, she found us looking at labels, right? And she's like, oh, you're looking for sourdough or something like that?
Well, she put some fresh sourdough out and I just picked it up and I didn't even read all the ingredients. I just saw the list was this long.
Yep.
And so I was like, no, it's okay. And she was like, she got it. She was like, yeah, there's a lot of fortified and enriched ingredients in these.
And she's like, when you see enrich, you can normally assume that it's going to have crappy ingredients in it. And I'm just like, I'm like, yo, this lady is awake.
Yeah, and they did have one bread that was actually good and we almost bought it, but we were only there for like 3 mornings, right? 4 mornings. Anyway, it was like a loaf of, it was like more of like a baguette, but it was so long. And one of my friends with us is gluten-free. And so I was like, yeah, we can't eat all this.
Yeah. It was funny that when she brought that up, and she's right. You see fortified, you see enriched, you probably want to avoid that product because it's going to the ingredient list is going to be questionable at best.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on. You wanted to say something about speaking of
bread. So I'm reading, I think I mentioned it in the last episode. I brought the book today, The Biblio Diet. It's actually very good. It talks a lot about the stuff we talk about. You know, people are like, oh, Biblio Diet's the Bible, but it's talking a lot about seed oils, homogenized and pasteurization of the milk, the quality of our foods, like trying to avoid vegan and vegetarian diets and stuff like that. And so I'm at the chapter where they talk about bread and the enrichment stuff they talk about. But when I think in like the 2010s, gluten-free got its rage, right? The most popular thing, everyone's gluten-free. But why do so many people feel better off of gluten? Okay. So whether you truly have like celiac disease where you cannot tolerate gluten at all, or if it's, hey, I have some little bit of gluten sensitivity, a little GI upset, so I try to avoid it because I feel better, which is great. Okay. So why is this such an issue? Because we didn't have, like, much like all the diseases we have now, gluten wasn't an issue like in the 1900s, 1920s, 1950s.
In the 1990s,
right?
I don't remember it being an issue.
And so so they started to genetically engineer through DNA technology our wheat. or grain, excuse me. And they started to hybridize. So hybrid grains together to make more, to make the crossbreeding plants with desirable traits. So it was more productive to farm them. Okay. But by doing this, it made each grain contain more gluten than previous ones or the original forms. And they did all this. They're genetically engineering the grain that we consume in mass quantities in the US, never did any animal or human trials to what these changes, how these changes impacted people.
Woo!
And to me,
So
that's...
you are the experiment.
Yeah, we're the experiment.
We are the experiment.
And what do we see? Oh, I go to Europe and eat their food and I drop 5 pounds.
Correct, because their
and
wheat
I
is
feel
completely
better,
different than ours.
right?
Yes, they have
And
something
so,
that's closer to the original version. Yep.
What they say to work on things, to look at, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. To try to look at foods that aren't human altered or breads that aren't that way. So the use of ungerminated or non-sprouted grain, avoid things that have been hybridized, sprayed with glyphosate, like we talked about on a previous episode, and look for things that are fermented like sourdough. So
yeah, there's fermentation of foods is, now we're talking sauerkrauts and kimchis and pickles and that sort of thing, tends to have a really, really good effect in your gut. So it makes sense now with sourdough bread that, it has these good bacteria for your gut.
yeah, because it breaks down a lot of the things for you, so then you can digest it easier.
Yep. That's pretty good. So speaking of GMO, and we'll close with this, fake food, altered versions of the original, fake food. We got my boy. Everybody loves him.
Oh.
But he is a highly suspicious individual.
I really I hate how dependent upon him I am.
Which, by the way, this latest dump of Epstein stuff is super interesting because a lot of names in there are very interesting. I've seen some names that I hadn't seen on the other stuff that came out before, for the people that were deep paying attention to that, whatever. But my boy, your boy, our boy, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
I think he's got an itch for playing the Bill Gates game now. He might be the new one. He's got 2 projects. He's got, yes, he's on the Epstein stuff as well. Anyway, are you surprised? Wild type salmon. Sounds cool, right? Wild type. Sounds really cool. Sounds like, oh man, I feel like I'm fishing it. I'm in Alaska, like pulling salmon out of the stream, right?
Wild type.
Wild type, as in made in a lab. That's one of his latest projects.
Maybe they were playing the sound of rushing water.
While they're making it in the lab. So he's getting into fish meat, basically starting with salmon, lab-grown fish meat. We already have lab-grown chicken that's coming out. They're trying to do lab-grown beef. My boy is putting a stake in lab-grown fish meat alternative, fake fish. And he's also got one this one blew my mind. This one's egregious because this is a harder thing to fake. Eggs.
Yeah.
3D printed smart eggs.
Yeah. So the egg substitute, so it can be liquid or powder.
Yep. And now we know about it because Texas, hey, God bless them, they legislated against the fake food stuff. So things like this should not be, they'll find their way. Here's the thing with these laws. They'll find a way to circumvent, they'll find the loophole to get their stuff in that market. But I know Tennessee did it. I know Florida's done some sort of legislation against lab-grown meat. And now you have Texas that passed one against fake food and alternatives.
Yeah,
so
anything that tries to mimic animal protein, including eggs or egg substitutes. And they did it to protect the farmers, protect the quality of our food. And I can't remember what was the third thing, but never mind, I won't make a comment.
No, but
it's kind of like what else is going on in this world. I want to protect the integrity. Anyway,
so it's just, it's funny that these people are putting large amounts of their money, and granted, Jeff Bezos could start throwing away money today and he'll still him and his descendants will live very well. But Bill Gates has done it. He put a large amount of money behind fake food, which the Impossible Meats, which is now a penny stock. It's worth nothing. It crashed. Good job, people, for
It's always
paying
on
attention.
sale at the grocery store.
Yeah. You've seen those pictures of like hurricanes and winter storm emergencies where the grocery stores are cleared out, but the Impossible Meat is all there. Not even in an emergency, people want to eat that trash. So there you go, Billy. Go ahead.
So his argument is that it's more sustainable and more humane because of animals, right? So
as soon as you hear that word, which is funny because we talk about health strategies being simple and sustainable, but this is the social political version of sustainable when they're talking, well, this is more sustainable for the environment. Oh, cool. So we're going to get rid of chickens that lay beautiful eggs and forage in beautiful grass when you treat them right, because there are chickens that you have cooped up that give eggs too, and you're not treating them right. But we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to put a factory that's going to emit gases, and it's going to take a bunch of synthetic stuff
and require a lot of energy to run.
Require a lot of energy to run to produce something that looks like an egg.
I wonder what the nutrient profile of the synthetic egg will be.
Oh, they'll have to fortify it.
No, I know, but I wonder what it will be.
It's going to be nothing, and they'll have to fortify it and inject stuff into it. And we did an episode here where we talked about the nutrition in a real egg.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I mean, like, we eat a lot of eggs at home, and I knew they were good for you, but when Janie broke it down, I was like, oh no, this goes beyond. Like, the egg is
they're little nutrient bombs.
It is
like, if you think about like growing up when you egged houses, that's terrible.
Yep.
Such a waste.
Yeah, it's a nutritional hand grenade for your stomach and your body. But what's the so what on this? We go back to what we started with. There is a very real, like, the thing with what I was trying to say with Bill Gates and Impossible Meats, we have already a case study for people putting large amounts of money into food, creating these fake foods for sustainability and green agenda type stuff, and they lost their shirt. The products did not take. But here we are, another ultra billionaire, supposedly, allegedly Epstein-linked person, is putting large amounts of money behind more fake food. So why would you do that when you already have the case study that it's not a profitable venture? It is not. You're going to lose money. People don't want fake eggs. People don't want fake fish. They want real fish. So why are you doing that? And it goes back to how we started the show. There is a very real, very palpable agenda to push unhealthiness on people. You are going to deal with some sort of adverse health event, whether you like it or not. Even people like us that are on top of this stuff, I'm sure there's somewhere where they're getting us. Look at the egg thing that we talked about a couple of, they're selling these eggs as pasture raised, and it turns out that they have more linoleic acid than the regular eggs. So they got us, right? Why? Why do you think this is happening? Me personally, you'll always say this, there is no money in healthy people. Healthy people are not profitable consumers, right?
Well, Bezos now has Amazon Pharmacy, so.
Look at that. My boy, he's in everything.
Yeah.
Healthier people are not profitable consumers. One, you'll spend money, but you won't spend as much money as somebody who needs pharmacy needs this medication, is eating these crappy foods, and they run through them quicker, so they have to buy them more, et cetera, et cetera. There's also healthier people are harder to control. If you are dealing with chronic illness, that is all that you can think of. Mm-hmm. It's going to permeate your daily decision-making and daily awareness more than anything. This is why I say, why I want people to get really, really, really zealous about their health. Mm-hmm. I want you to be fanatical about your health. Okay, I want you to put it in your top list of priorities, top 3. Dylon. No, just kidding. God, health, family. All three of those, and they're linked, right? You can't say that one comes, you could probably put God before everything else, and then it permeates positively to everything else. But, you put those three together, your relationships, spiritual relationships, earthly relationships, and your health, and you might be in a better place. I want you to, without your health, life gets really crappy. There's no denying that, right? And these people that go to island parties and parties where weird stuff happens and people disappear at, they know that, right? You think Jeffrey Bezos is going to be eating 3D printed eggs at home? You think Jeffrey Bezos is going to be eating salmon that they printed in a lab? What? No way. Have you seen Jeff Bezos lately? Jacked. Jacked. And I promise he didn't do it on freaking 3D printed salmon. Why would you do that? I want to eat what Jeff Bezos is eating. He's eating pasture-raised eggs, grass-fed beef. I want to eat that stuff, right? You'd be like, oh, Jay forgot the money. No, what, Jeffrey, why are you hogging the good stuff and you want to give us the crappy stuff?
I did see a post because I think the argument is going to be to make more food available for people and make it more sustainable so it doesn't deplete the environment and everything. Because just think of all these people that we need to feed, right? Whether you're a consumer or in poverty or whatever. And I did see, I don't know if I should share this. With all these GLPs, I saw this post of a guy who said, I just injected a homeless person with retaglutide so they wouldn't starve for a week.
Wow, that's pretty funny.
And I'm not advocating that at all, but it's like, if you want to pump us full of synthetic things, why not, but you can't make money off of homeless people using those, right? So anyway, I won't go down that rabbit hole.
The sustainability of it, though, the argument, I was thinking this morning, I was like, man, I grew up with a huge mango tree in my backyard. Now that tree's gone, the hurricane and all this stuff, and my parents lost a little bit of their backyard into the canal, so that tree is gone. Now they have banana trees. But that tree, like clockwork, every season would give off so many mangoes. I mean, it would cover our backyard in mangoes.
Dan has PTSD from
I
this.
have PTSD from having to pick up rotten mangoes because they would rot on the floor. There was so many of them. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of mangoes a day would fall out of that tree. It was huge. We didn't do anything to it. We didn't spray it. We didn't put any
Miracle Grow
in it. None of it. It was just season would come. Boom. That thing is pumping out mangoes like crazy. You mean to tell me that we can't figure out how to yield naturally and stuff? You mean to tell me that we're talking about flying cars and we can't figure out how to get trees to yield naturally like they've been doing for thousands of years? We can't do it. Are you serious? You're lying to me. And I know you are. So just think about that for a second. I had another thought, which I'll share with you off air, and maybe we'll talk about it later. I think we have some upcoming topics to talk about here because we need to dive deep into the agenda of sick people and what that does for society or against society and what that does for people who want to control things a little bit more. So just keep in mind that you being low-grade ill, whether you're constantly catching a cold or a flu, which is a low level of chronic illness, you're high blood glucose trending towards diabetes and you're in that struggle, you're gaining weight every year, but you don't really know inflammation, your brain fog, all this stuff, that it actually benefits people because it keeps your mind off the prize, right?
Yep.
So with that in mind, I want you to prioritize your health, right? And get really serious about it. Come with us on this journey. Get serious about this stuff, guys. Get serious about it.
Seriously?
Okay? Seriously.
Okay. All right.
Anything you want to add before?
No, that's a wrap.
So where can they find us, Janie, if they want to talk to us a little bit more? And you should want to talk to us a little bit more because everybody needs help with their health, and that's what we do.
They can check us out on our website at achievethelifestyle.com. You can email us, by hitting contact us or emailing us straight to info@achievethelifestyle.com, or where it really goes down is sending us a DM at Achieve the Lifestyle on Instagram.
It do go down in the DM. That's probably the fastest way to reach us if you send us a DM. And
well, mostly because the only emails I've been getting recently, or the majority of the emails I've been getting recently, is spam and bots emailing us. And so maybe I won't believe it's you. I'm just kidding.
yeah. So, guys, that's an episode. Till the next one, I need you to stop eating fake food. Don't even buy into it, okay? And I need you to stay pharma-free. Thanks for listening to the PharmaPhobic podcast. If you found this conversation interesting, which I know you did, make sure to follow us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And also make sure to check us out on Instagram at Achieve the Lifestyle. And if you're interested in pursuing a stronger, healthier, more capable version of yourself, check out our website at achievethelifestyle.com.
The PharmaPhobic podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. The views expressed are those of the hosts and guests and do not constitute medical, legal, or professional advice. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider before making any medical or wellness decisions. While we discuss pharmaceutical, holistic, and alternative health topics, our content is not a substitute for professional medical guidance.